Hey, Gathering family, listen, it's Monday morning, September the 16th, and I didn't do one of these last week because of Encounter. And I'm just thinking about how awesome yesterday was, right? I love baptism services. There's just something about seeing how God is working in other people's lives that reminds us of how He's still working in ours, right? None of us are a finished product. We're all growing in grace. I'm so thankful for it. And I mentioned something at the end of the service that I want to just unpack a little bit right now. Clearly, we've seen growth in the last few months. Yesterday was no exception. It was not an atypical Sunday. We've had a lot of really full services over the summer. And sometimes we just want to say out loud, hey, we see that, right? We can all look around the room and see that there are less empty chairs, and that's awesome. And yet the question comes up, well, what's next, right? What do we do now? And here are some answers that aren't necessarily wrong, but they're typical, right? Well, you build another building or you start another service. A lot of those things aren't necessarily bad. And in the past, we've done that. Like, let's go ahead and get a second service going and let's look for maybe starting a third service. But what we experienced before the pandemic, when we were growing, kind of like we're growing right now, is that the easy answer of just starting another service, adding an additional time slot, is really good sometimes for people that just want to come attend a service. But if people are just going to attend and not serve, then it leaves the faithful few, the ones that are willing to serve in the gathering, it leaves them kind of holding the bag. And people can do that for a while. But what we experienced was that people can get burned out. I'm not sure that that's exactly how the church is supposed to function. We see it in Acts. Do you remember that in Acts chapter 6? Because of the growth of the church, there were needs that were going unmet. And those were raised, like people raised their hands and said, excuse me, we're not getting the food that they're getting. And it was a system problem, right? It was a serving problem. It wasn't, hey, we need more food, or y'all just pipe down and stop being complainers. It was, we recognize that as we're growing, there are areas that can be better. But what that requires, what did the leaders say? They didn't say, we're going to take care of that. And lots of times, especially in the South, church culture expects the pastors and the people on staff to do all the work. Now, I'm not saying that y'all do, but that's typically what happens. Hey, y'all fix the problem, right? But they said, no, y'all pray. And then you go and find men that are full of the Spirit and place them in charge. Let them figure out how to move forward, because we're going to give ourselves to prayer and to the preaching of the word. So I think that in this season, what we're looking for is an opportunity to just spend time with the Lord and ask Him, hey, Lord, you're in charge of the harvest. You're the one that's growing your kingdom. You're growing the church. So how would you have us move forward in this beautiful season of just revival and growth and hunger, right? How would you have us move forward? What would you have us do? Who in our church is full of wisdom and the Spirit that would say, I'm willing to step into a gap and help meet it? Which is why yesterday at the end of the service, I had you place your hands in front of you and just simply pray, God, here I am, send me, right? I'm willing to say yes. God, you plant me here and help me see how I can best serve. And we want to partner with you in that. So that's my prayer for you today, is that you would continually say, hey, God, thank you for what you're doing at the gathering. Thank you for how you're pouring your Spirit out on us at the gathering. And how then, God, can we steward that well? How can we meet the needs? Not just how can we make room for more people to sit in chairs. That's easy, right? That's just another service. but how can we steward the people that you're sending to us? How can we help invest in them? How can we partner with them? How can we walk with them as we all apprentice under Jesus together? Hope that makes sense. If not, hey, you've got my cell number. You can always text me and say, the thing you did to help clarify what you said didn't help me at all. And if that's the case, we can have coffee and talk about it. I love you guys. I'm so honored to pastor our church and to steward this revival that God is sending to our city and to partner in it with you. All the things, sounds like a lot of buzzwords right there, but really I'm just saying I love you, and I'm so honored to be your pastor. Pray you guys have a great week. I can't wait to see what God does in you and through you this week. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye.